Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. If you're new, thank you for visiting my channel. Thanks for stopping by. I want to have a conversation about when your healing ruined their control of you. They didn't lose feelings, they lost access. What they called love was never about connection, it was about control. You were soft when they met you. You were open. You were trusting. You were unguarded. They studied your heart like a manual. Every fear, every wound, every childhood ache that made you crave reassurance. And when you healed, you stopped reacting. That's when they said you changed. No, you didn't change. You just stopped performing for their comfort. Manipulation rarely looks evil at first. It starts with concern. Where were you? Who were you talking to? I just want to make sure you're safe. But over time, love turns into surveillance. Their protection becomes possession. And before you know it, you're shrinking yourself to avoid confrontation. You start apologizing for existing too loudly. They convince you that peace means silence, your silence. Control needs compliance. So they create emotional debt, doing favors you never asked for just to remind you you owe them. They'll say, after everything I've done for you, to make your freedom sound like betrayal. But understand this, true love doesn't invoice your soul. Love gives, manipulation collects. The moment you stop depending on them, they'll call it disloyalty because dependence is what kept you on a leash. They could tug whenever they felt you drifting. When you start questioning inconsistencies, they flip the script. You say, I felt hurt when you, and they'll say, you're too sensitive. You catch them lying. They say, you're paranoid. You express a boundary. They call you cold. Gaslighting is psychological warfare. It's how manipulators train your mind to reject its own evidence. They distort your reality until you start defending theirs. Healing threatens manipulators because they don't exist without your confusion. When you find your voice, their tactics stop working. When you start naming what's happening, they lose the ability to hide behind charm. They'll say you've changed as if that's an insult. But they only loved you when you were broken enough to believe them. When your control collapses, or when their control collapses, they shift into victim mode. Suddenly, you're the cold one. You're the villain. You gave up. That's not remorse. It's manipulation's last trick, guilt. They don't apologize for what they did. They apologize for your reaction. Pay attention to the timing of their tears. Real regret seeks repair. Fake regret seeks re-entry. Breaking free doesn't feel like a movie scene. It's quiet, disorienting, even lonely. Because when your life revolved around emotional chaos, peace feels foreign. You'll be tempted to go back just to feel something. But remember, that something was survival. Peace doesn't shout, it stabilizes. Don't mistake stillness for emptiness. That's what healing sounds like. Love doesn't die from truth, control does. They didn't fall out of love with you. They fell out of love. They fell out of the ability to manage you. You became unpredictable, not because you're unstable, but because you finally stopped responding to their control cues. When they could no longer script your emotions, they called you different. That's how manipulators translate liberation. Manipulation isn't just psychological, it's spiritual. When someone drains your peace, they're feeding on your life force. Every time you explain what they already know, you hand them power. So stop explaining, start exiting. God doesn't require you to prove your pain to the one who caused it. When the divine cuts access, that's protection, not punishment. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning the pattern so it can't repeat. You'll start noticing who mirrors that same control energy in different bodies. You'll start recognizing manipulation in the tone, not just the act. And that's when you reclaim authority over your emotional space. The moment you realize your peace is non-negotiable, you stop being prey. The greatest revenge against manipulation is clarity. Not exposure, not retaliation, clarity. Because when you can name what tried to destroy you, you disarm it forever. They lost control because you found yourself. You didn't become difficult, you became divine. So stay covered, stay conscious, stay undefeated. Truth Tellers Mike. See you on the next one.